There is so much strength, so much talent, so many resources among the poor. They have to have those resources because they wouldn't survive in the conditions where they live otherwise. In a slum in Kenya, there is nobody who knows it better than the people themselves. What they need is a chance, and they need somebody who is the bravest, who starts climbing first, make use of that ladder, that is microfinance, and start planting the dream in the others.
When my grandmother was a very young woman, my grandfather died, leaving 10 children and not much to support them. So after he died, my grandmother had the advice of the parish priest and 2 merchants and a small loan, and she was able to put together a grocery business and a grocery store which kept the family together for 2 and 3 generations after that. Her strength and the small loan and the business advice of these men made all the difference in her life. I grew up intrigued with Africa, and in 2003, 2004, I spent almost a year traveling through Africa. The thrill was meeting the women, the men, and the children. Every night we would camp out. We sat around a campfire, and I would listen to the women's stories about their children and what they dreamt about. And through reflection, I realized that it was in the women, the African women around the campfire, that I met my grandmother. And I was at lunch one day and realized the lunch that I was eating, the cost of that lunch would be the same cost as a small business loan in Africa. And that could make the difference in their life. The small loan, the strong women of Africa put those together, and the same thing that happened to my grandmother, what happened for them. And I thought to myself, I think we can do this. I think we can make these small loans happen. What I didn't know is exactly how to do it. My experience of Jamii Bora and the women and the men in this program gave me the idea of the model that we would like to carry forward. Jamii Bora is about working with the strongest of the strong and helping them with small loans.
I came into microfinance from the housing end, from the desperation of the slums, of the street dwellers, the beggars who had not even got a shack in the slum to live in. And I said, there must be a way. There must be a way for us to change that. Jamii Bora means good families. We started with 50 women in the streets who refused to accept that their dream was gone. That dream of getting out of poverty, they were refusing to give up on that. And they became ambassadors, our mentors, our promoters, and our staff. So many of them are social workers with us. Some have become managers, some are loans officers, and they are out explaining to others, you can also make it. If I could make it, you can also make it.
When Tony first found out about Jamii Bora, we thought that we probably had found something that would work for microfinancing partners in Africa and the role that we would play in the projects that we wanted to take on in Africa. It was clear that we did not have the kind of infrastructure and knowledge to build that organization from the ground up ourselves. The program that they offer is so comprehensive in giving each individual that becomes a member of their microfinancing project the kind of support that they need, both professionally and personally, to be successful in the program and to be able to pay back the loans. So they offer a whole litany of services, from life insurance to health insurance, AIDS awareness. They have an orphanage, and they provide addiction education, mental health counseling. Ultimate goal that that individual is given the kind of support, even in business training, that they need to pay back that loan. That's why it works.
The social workers in Jamii Bora, they get their PhD from the streets. So they go with the people that were next to them on the streets and say, you know, I got a loan at Jamii Bora, I changed my life, I changed my family's life, and I'd like to help you.
We are visiting former street mothers we are trying to follow them up. So our work with my social workers at the end of the day is to try to still give them hope. No one comes out of poverty because of charity. So I tell the people in the slums that they should do something on their own. They should not wait to be given, because whatever someone sweats for, she or he can use it wisely. And that is my teaching every day with my co-workers as I go to the streets. I came to Nairobi in 1987 after we separated with my husband. We had some differences, a lot of fighting. I had wanted to trace back my job. I had lost a job as a teacher. In the fracas when we fought, I lost my certificates and everything. And it happened that I ended up now desperate. I didn't know where to go. I went and stayed with a relative for some time who could not really support me enough with my 6 children. And that is when I came to know Vingri. And Jamii Bora, I happened to be among the first women who were given houses. And that is when where I settled, my children went to school. We continued doing some small jobs that Ingrid taught us. Among those jobs we learned was weaving baskets. We started also weaving mats. How we started, we were a women club, but today we have grown into a microfinance. With Jamii Bora, we are a unique microfinance because the type of members we are reaching, other microfinances might not be able to give them loans because they have no security at all.
Who would have thought that it was possible to start with a group of 50 beggars and create one of the biggest microfinance organizations in Africa?
So I have seen my vision accomplished as a teacher because I am still teaching my staff, my social workers, and also teaching our members how to make them uplift themselves and come out of poverty.